Available on DVD from MVD Visual is Behind the Bucket, a Garrison story. This is a documentary about the 501st Legion. Do you know about this? I only learned about this not that long ago. So there are a lot of people who like Star Wars. I'm going to start way at the beginning. There was a movie called Star Wars. A lot of Star Wars fans over the years have cosplay is the word it's become, dressed up like stormtroopers, like characters from the films, and they go to conventions and all that. And over time, a lot of these people who liked dressing up as stormtroopers got together and formed these local garrisons and things. I'm sorry I won't have all the correct terminology, but they do go over all of it, how it all works in this documentary. And they get together to appear at conventions and get together to have fun and get together to do a tremendous amount of good. They get together to go to children's hospitals and become involved in, fundraisers and toy drives and things like that. And they go to kids' burn victim camps and cancer wards and all this stuff. And they try to bring joy through their depiction of terrible characters, essentially. But this documentary was fascinating to me. Years ago, I went to a pop culture convention and we saw somebody who was in a stormtrooper costume, and we said, "Oh man, that's amazing! Where did you get that?" And the person said, "I made it," and it blew my mind. I'm like, I feel like I am in a Star Wars movie. You looked like you stepped off the movie screen and right in front of me, and you made that. And that's what this documentary gets into in part, is how they make these, how much work and effort goes into, what are the resources for made, that there's this whole network of people who make these screen accurate costumes because they love these movies so much. And these movies have meant so much to them, and the love and inspiration that the story of Star Wars have brought to these people, they are turning into a force of good in the world. Even if, as I say, they're dressed as the villains, which is kind of funny. That's one of the things in this documentary that I had to sort of pause and say it out loud and kind of laugh. It's like throughout the doc, you see all these people these little kids who run up and hug stormtroopers, and this story that was mind-blowing of this guy who was in a children's cancer ward and this little girl who had to go for her chemo treatment and didn't want to do it, grabbed him by the hand and had him go into the appointment with her, so because it would be easier for her to take that chemo treatment if there was a stormtrooper there. And he said the doctor walked into the room to give this little girl the treatment she needed to get. And he looks, and there's a stormtrooper standing there. The doctor was, "Can I help you?" And the guy in the stormtrooper costume said, "I'm just here to make sure everything goes okay." And the little girl did what she had to do and took him by the hand and walked out again. And there's several stories in here about that kind of thing. It's phenomenal what these people do. But what I was getting at is, it's amazing to me that kids look at the stormtroopers and want to run up and hug them and want to run up and hug Darth Vader, because when I was a kid, those characters were scary. Those were the bad guys. Darth Vader was flat out scary up until probably Jedi. And the idea, I mean, yeah, he was kind of interesting. He was part of that world you liked. He was looked kind of cool, but he was a bad guy. It's just so funny that over time enough, maybe with the prequels and they give you the backstory of who these people, what's inside, what is behind the bucket, so to speak, that they were once good people, and maybe they see that. I don't know, maybe they just think they're cool characters. But it was really funny to me that this tremendous force of good, and some of the cosplayers cosplay as not stormtroopers and Darth Vader, but it's just interesting to me that this tremendous force of good that's being done are by people dressed as the bad guy, and that the kids are embracing that. It's phenomenal. But it's a really fun documentary. At times it might play like an extended promo piece, but that's fine, because what these people are doing is great. And they talk to a lot of people who have been the beneficiary, or whose families were the beneficiary of the love, kindness, and generosity of these people behind the bucket or in Star Wars cosplay. And if you're a Star Wars fan like me, it was huge for me when I was a little kid. It was everything Star Wars was. And I was, I guess you'd say, first generation. I was 3 when the original film came out, so I don't know when I originally saw the first movie, but I was there for Empire multiple times. I was there many times in the theater for Jedi, and that was a very large torch that I burned for a while. And then I didn't snuff it out. I just kind of let it smolder in the background. So I still appreciate Star Wars and what it can do, and I love that it's still a thing that goes on. And I love that it can be turned into something like this. So this is a great doc if you're a fan of Star Wars, if you're curious about the cosplay thing. These people found each other, they found their people, they found their passion, and they channeled that to do really, really good things. And whoever these people are behind the bucket, when they put it on, they're bringing this world to life that so many people only dream they'd ever see in person. And it's a really, really good thing. It's a good documentary. So it's funny, it's fascinating, it's touching, as you can see. And try watching it to the end with a dry eye. If you do, if you manage to watch it to the end with a dry eye, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm getting choked up just talking about it. So there's a great line in it. We're not cosplay, we're cosplay is really nice. And there's no real special features on this. It's just a 2-minute trailer for the film, but it's really good. So I'll show you what the cover looks like. You kind of already saw it, but there's the cover front, back, pretty simple. Crack it open, and it's fun. So this was really good. I hope people see this, and it is available physically on DVD from MVD. This is Behind the Bucket.